Hi guys, welcome to Animeized. This is the English translated version of the novel Throne of Steel. The novel differs slightly from the Chinese animation or Donghua. If you want more of these videos, please smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Enjoy and have a blessed day.
Over a month of rest and recovery has brought some life back to Jiannan Pass, but the scars on the city wall still serve as a reminder of the near-devastating battle that took place here not long ago. At this moment, there is an air of surprise outside Jiannan Pass, while inside the city, the elite forces are deployed, including the Knights Templar and hundreds of Emperor-level and Royal-level demon hunt squads, all gathered outside Jiannan Pass. For over a month now, the second batch of Alliance reinforcements has arrived at Jiannan Pass, which should be sufficient to counter any major moves by the Demon Clan. Half of the damaged magic cannons have been repaired, and the severely damaged ones will be replaced with new ones. Of course, this will take some time. High Priest Temple Lord Ling Xiao and Knights Templar Vice Temple Lord Han Qian stand in the center of the formation, gazing into the distance. Behind them, there are 10 young individuals dressed in armor. Among these 10, there are Long Haochen and Chai Er. The selection tournament has already concluded, and Long Haochen and Chai Er have earned the opportunity to explore the dream paradise with their outstanding performances. Today is the day to venture into that mysterious place. They're here, Han Qian murmured quietly. In the distance, an invisible pressure began to emerge, and then everyone saw a dark cloud rapidly approaching them. Long Haochen looked into the distance with wide eyes, and couldn't help but take a deep breath. It wasn't just any dark cloud, it was a group of black dragons with outstretched wings flying in the sky. Could it be that the personal guard of the Demon God Emperor, the Black Dragon Guard, has come personally? And there are quite a few of them. The dark clouds gradually closed in, descending slowly towards the ground, and they landed gently about a kilometer away from the Holy Temple Alliance. Long Haochen counted them briefly, and there were a total of 30 black dragons, with the largest one being over 40 meters in length. On their backs were dozens of other Demon Clan members. Whatever they were carrying on those black dragons, it was clear that they weren't ordinary Demon Clan members. After the 30 black dragons landed, a strong aura of darkness enveloped them, and their bodies rapidly shrank under the cover of the black light, transforming into robust human forms in the blink of an eye. They walked towards the Holy Temple Alliance alongside other Demon Clan members. Leading the way was a tall and burly middle-aged man, with thick eyebrows and a stern gaze. He was the one who had transformed into the largest black dragon. Seeing him, Ling Xiao's expression subtly changed. What was surprising was that the two individuals accompanying him were not members of the Black Dragon Guard, but rather two middle-aged men with handsome features, purple hair, and purple eyes. Long Haochen had actually seen these two men before, and it was precisely because of that encounter that he was even more astonished. They were the second of the 4 demon kings from the Moon Demon Palace. They were the right-hand men of the Moon Demon God and held significant power among the Moon Demon Clan. In the Moon Demon Clan, they were considered superior to most. Following these 3 individuals came the Black Dragon Guard and strong members of the Moon Demon Clan, and there were also 10 individuals with peculiar appearances, having orange hair and eyes. Although they looked like humans on the outside, they gave off an elusive aura. They were the Star Demon Clan, a race known for their expertise in magic, judging by their appearance. Long Haochen had already guessed the identity of these peculiar individuals. The Star Demon God was the great prophet of the Demon Clan, and his clan members were among the best magicians in the Demon Clan. They were a rare breed among the high-ranking Demon Clan, but it was precisely because of this dual proficiency in magic and martial arts that their magic was all the more terrifying. No one had expected that, for the sake of the Dream Paradise expedition, the top 3 Demon Clan races had all deployed their elites. With the current lineup, if they were to launch a full-scale assault on Jiannan Pass, there would be a considerable chance of success among these Demon Clan elites. There were also 10 young Demon Clan members, and from their hair colors, it was clear that they didn't all belong to the same race. However, due to the distance, and the other Demon Clan members in front, it was difficult to see them clearly at the moment. Soon, these Demon Clan elites arrived in front of the Holy Temple Alliance members, and the burly leader of the Black Dragon Guard spoke in a deep voice. "I am Huang Shuo, the leader of the Black Dragon Guard under the Demon God Emperor. Who among you can make decisions and speak for your side?" Ling Xiao snorted coldly. "I am High Priest Temple Lord Ling Xiao. What's this? The Demon God himself couldn't be bothered to come today, and he sent some lackeys instead?" Despite the formidable strength of the enemy, Ling Xiao, as one of the leaders of the 6 great temples of the Holy Temple Alliance, was not willing to back down. It's true that not a single demon god has shown up this time, but most of these Demon Clan elites here had power that could rival that of the demon gods ranked below the top 36. It was worth noting that the Black Dragon Guard of the Demon God Emperor constituted nearly a tenth of his fundamental power. Huang Shuo replied calmly. "Idle chatter is meaningless. Let's stick to our agreement and get to the business at hand. His Majesty has always been magnanimous, and we've fulfilled our promise to you, now it's your turn. Ling Xiao didn't let his guard down just because the other party didn't engage in banter. Instead, he remained vigilant, as the leader of the Black Dragon Guard displayed a calm demeanor, indicating that he was not an easy opponent. Follow us. Ling Xiao waved his hand towards the side. In an instant, several massive green figures emerged from the side, their enormous weight making their footsteps thunderous. These were green phoenixes, 7th-level magical beasts. Although their offensive and defensive capabilities weren't exceptional, their strength lay in their physical bodies. They were even larger than the leader of the Black Dragon Guard, Wang Shuo. They excelled in long-distance flight and carrying heavy loads. Among the 6 great temples, only the High Priest Temple had tamed these magical beasts. After all, priests had relatively weaker physical abilities, and if they had to travel long distances, having suitable mounts was crucial. 10 green phoenixes came forward, and they knelt on the ground, waiting for Ling Xiao's command. The human elites mounted the backs of the green phoenixes, one by one, and the green phoenixes spread their wings. They soared northward. The Black Dragon Guards have also transformed back into their true Black Dragon forms, carrying the formidable members of the Demon Clan closely behind, maintaining a distance of about a kilometer behind the green phoenixes. Following their flight, among the 10 individuals selected by the Alliance, apart from Long Haochen and Chai Er, there's one more whom Long Haochen recognizes, and it's none other than Commander Level Number 8, Captain Zhang Fangfang of the Demon Hunting Squad. Surprisingly, he possesses the peak strength of the 6th rank, having successfully cleared all obstacles along the way. At this moment, Long Haochen's emotions are far from calm. Especially when, during the conversation between Ling Xiao and Huang Shuo just now, he saw 2 familiar faces, and he's certain that they saw him as well. They are Yu Yi and Ling Xiao. Surprisingly, they are part of this Demon Clan operation, and based on Long Haochen's knowledge of them, there's no doubt that they are also entering the Dream Paradise. Long Haochen knows Yu Yi's identity, and he can also guess Ling Xiao's identity to some extent, but he didn't expect Ling Xiao to hold such a high position within the Demon Clan. Dealing with Ling Xiao is one thing since she is an enemy, and her life and death have little to do with them, but Yu Yi is their collaborator. It can be said that without Yu Yi, their chances of completing the Cave of Fearful Wailing mission would have been reduced by at least half. Especially during the return journey, it was Yu Yi's assistance that allowed them to return smoothly without undergoing further transformations. Having such a collaborator within the Demon Clan is undoubtedly a great advantage for the Commander Level Number 21 Demon Hunting Squad. There will be many opportunities for future cooperation. The situation inside the Dream Paradise is far from being as wonderful as its name suggests. It wasn't until yesterday that Ling Xiao solemnly explained several key points about the Dream Paradise to those participating in the operation. These key points had been discovered through the sacrifice of countless lives, Chai Er whispered. Haochen, there's no need to worry. We'll lend her a hand when the time comes, huh? Long Haochen looked at Chai Er in surprise. Chai Er continued calmly. She carries a restriction I placed inside her using the Reincarnation Spirit Furnace and the Reincarnation Sword. Her life and death moments are within my control. Don't worry about any tricks she might try. For our future actions, this woman is crucial. We can't let her die like that. Chai Er's words also helped Long Haochen firm his resolve, and he nodded slightly in agreement. The Dream Temple is located in a forest 120 miles north of Jinan Pass. Whether it's the Green Phoenixes or the Black Dragons, 120 miles is just a moment's journey for them. In the distance, a vast and dense primeval forest comes into view, and looking down from the sky at the forest's vegetation, you can feel their immense presence. A primeval forest of this scale has undoubtedly undergone thousands of years of growth and thriving to reach this state. Following Ling Xiao's signal, the Green Phoenixes descended gently just outside the forest. Everyone dismounted from the Green Phoenixes, and the Demon Clan members did the same. Huang Shuo, accompanied by 2 Moon Demon Clan Demon Kings, approached and asked solemnly, "Why don't we just fly directly in?" Ling Xiao snorted coldly. "You can try if you want. This is the location of the Dream Temple, a temple left behind by the Goddess of Nature. This forest is also protected by the Goddess of Nature. Think you can just fly in? You're not even close. It would take the personal appearance of the Demon God Emperor." Huang Shuo replied calmly. "Then let's walk." Each side led their own group of people, and they proceeded towards the magical forest up ahead. As soon as they entered the forest, the air immediately changed, and it was more than just refreshing. A faint, refreshing fragrance seemed to cleanse their souls, and an indescribable sense of tranquility made them exceptionally comfortable. The sounds of insects and birds within the forest were exceptionally clear, and the magical elements of water, earth, and light became incredibly rich. Long Haochen felt it most intensely. As he took a step into the Dream Paradise, he immediately felt a warmth that was reminiscent of returning home. It was as if everything here was so wonderful, and so close to him. Every blade of grass and every tree seemed to smile at him. The light element gently enveloped him and circled around, while the water and earth elements gently nourished his body. In this wondrous environment, Long Haochen felt that his soul was continuously being cleansed, and all his worries and anxieties disappeared. Faintly, a translucent golden glow appeared on his skin, and the call of nature made him feel light and ethereal. Even in his body, Chai Er was right beside Long Haochen, and she immediately felt the changes in him as well, experiencing a similar sensation herself, although hers was not as profound as Long Haochen's. Long Haochen possesses the sun of light physique, and the growth of any plant is inseparable from light. The call of nature is not just a saying, but a truly powerful magic, albeit one of the gentlest forms of magic. Those who are attuned to this attribute will receive significant enhancements, while those not attuned to it may experience some weakening. At this moment, Long Haochen was akin to Chai Er when she entered the Tower of Eternity. Except his experience was not one of enlightenment but of cleansing. Everything about himself was being cleansed, be it his body or his spiritual power, and it seemed to be becoming purer through the call of nature. All impurities disappeared silently with each breath. In contrast, the demon clan members were not faring well. It was visible that dark black demonic energy was emanating from their bodies, resisting the intrusion of the natural aura. Each of them furrowed their brows. If it weren't for Huang Shuo's restraint, they might have resorted to destroying the surrounding vegetation. Nature is a world filled with life, while darkness is laden with silence and shadow, and it's inevitable that they clash. Huang Shuo said to Ling Xiao, "Let's move a bit faster. My people and I don't like this place. If we stay here too long, I can't guarantee that I can keep them restrained." Ling Xiao replied calmly, "Then you can try. Although we're cooperating temporarily, since you've kept your promise, we won't resort to any tricks. Let me repeat, this is the place where the goddess of nature once resided. If you recklessly harm the natural environment here, and suffer a backlash preventing you from entering the temple of nature, it won't be because we didn't keep our promise." Huang Shuo furrowed his brow for a moment, but quickly returned to normal, nodded, but remained silent. The road within the dream forest is rugged and difficult to traverse, but it doesn't hinder the progress of these strong individuals. Ling Xiao had repeatedly instructed the members of the Temple Alliance before departure not to damage the plants here in any way. Otherwise, they would incur the enmity of the dream forest. The deeper they ventured into the forest, the stronger the aura of nature became, and if it were ordinary demons, they might not be able to resist the urge to attack due to this continuous influence. However, the individuals who came this time are all 9th-rank powerhouses, and they naturally have their own ways. At least for now, there haven't been any issues. Ling Xiao didn't intend to do anything inside the dream forest, partly because of the commitments made in their agreement. Even though demons and humans are mortal enemies throughout history, both sides have engaged in trade under specific circumstances, and so far, either side has failed to honor their commitments. If such a situation were to arise, it would likely mark the end of any future transactions. Therefore, both humans and demons adhere to this bottom line. Moreover, the situation inside the Dream Temple is far from peaceful, and Ling Xiao doesn't believe that the demons entering it will fare well. What would they achieve by going in? After walking for more than an hour, the path ahead suddenly opened up, and the dense forest transformed into a vast thicket. At that moment, when their line of sight widened, even the demons couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Indeed, this place is truly beautiful. It's like an ocean of plants, and especially a sea of flowers. As far as the eye could see, there were bushes, each about a meter in height, covering an area of at least 10,000 square meters. At the tops of these bushes, various kinds of flowers were blooming, in all colors, exceptionally enchanting. With every step, they could smell different fragrances of flowers, and there was a faint mist in the air, making the sunlight that filtered through less harsh on the eyes. A soft and gentle halo shimmered in this flowery world, truly living up to the term dreamlike. In the middle of this sea of flowers, there was a small lake, not very large, with a diameter of only about 200 meters. A rich water elemental aura accompanied by an even stronger life essence emanated from it. Ling Xiao stopped in his tracks, gazing at the lake not far away. "We've arrived, this is it." Huang Shuo looked at him with confusion and asked, "Where is the Dream Temple?" Ling Xiao replied, "It's right within this lake." "Huh?" Huang Shuo said with a deep voice. "Do we have to dive into the water?" He didn't mind diving. The Black Dragon clan was not averse to water, and could even transform into water dragons underwater. Ling Xiao sneered and said, "Indeed, diving into the water is one way to enter the Dream Temple, but you can give it a try. What do you think it means for the Dream Temple to open only once every 100 years? If it were as simple as diving, would we wait for 100 years? Huang Shuo asked in confusion. "Is there something inside the water?" "A seal?" Ling Xiao said. "Why would I tell you?" As he spoke, he raised his right hand, showing it to Huang Shuo. Huang Shuo's face changed slightly, seeming somewhat unwilling, but he still took out something, and placed it in Ling Xiao's hand. Ling Xiao's usually stern face, upon seeing the item, actually revealed a rare smile, and he said lightly, "All right, I'll tell you. Inside this lake, there lives an ancient and powerful being. It's said that it used to be the guardian of the goddess of nature, It has lived here for tens of thousands of years at the very least. If you're not afraid of death, you can dive in and take a look. Witness the power of this ancient being," Huang Shu exclaimed in surprise. "An ancient era magical beast. Do you know what species it is?" Ling Xiao raised his right hand again. Han Qian had turned his head aside, as if he hadn't seen anything, but the smile in his eyes was unmistakable. Huang Shu said in slight annoyance, "Don't be too much." Ling Xiao's face unexpectedly displayed a hint of innocence. "You didn't have to ask." Suppressing his anger, Huang Shu once again took out something similar to what he had given Ling Xiao earlier and placed it in his hand, saying, "Tell me." Ling Xiao's face changed slightly, and after a brief pause he said, "There's no harm in telling you. Inside this lake, there lives a dragon of the elves. A dragon of the elves that has survived for tens of thousands of years." Huang Shu took in a sharp breath. But he quickly composed himself, nodded, and said, "Thank you." Ling Xiao had felt something was amiss earlier, that this guy was so willing to give away 2 pieces of dragon's bomb so easily, just to exchange for 2 pieces of information, and now, looking at him, it seemed he didn't feel like he had lost out at all. Could there be an issue here? He couldn't help but feel some regret creeping in. But the words had already been spoken, and it was too late for regrets. Huang Shu said, "Since there's a dragon of the elves in the lake, how can we enter the Dream Temple?" Ling Xiao replied, "In at most a day, the Dream Temple will open on its own. It will rise to the surface of the lake on its own, and there will be a passage connecting it to the shore. We can simply walk over." Huang Shu nodded slightly and said, "Then let's wait." As he spoke, he led the group of powerful demons to a side and sat down. Arriving at the lakeside where Dream Temple exists, the influence of nature on them diminished rather than intensified. Over 100 demons each found a place to sit together, creating a tranquil atmosphere. They appeared very calm. On the side of the Holy Temple Alliance, it was the same. Everyone sat down, quietly awaiting the opening of Dream Temple. Long Haochen seemed to unintentionally glance towards the demons, and happened to meet Yu Ye's lovely gaze, not only her, but Ling Xiao as well. However, the 2 women's gazes held different expressions. Yi smiled gently, her gaze soft and tender, as if she were looking at her man. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, had a fierce expression, with icy eyes seemingly piercing through Long Haochen. Suddenly, Yu Ye's expression changed, and she turned her head away. It was because she felt Chai Er's gaze on her, while Ling Xiao fearlessly stared at Long Haochen and Chai Er, even gesturing with her fist. Sitting in front of Ling Xiao and Yu was a young man, who appeared to be the leader of the demons preparing to enter Dream Temple this time. He had a tall and slender figure, appearing to be around 20 years old. What was peculiar was that he not only had black hair, but also black eyes. He sat cross-legged in complete silence, yet his aura seemed like nothingness, completely still. Long Haochen's gaze was naturally drawn to this young man with black hair and eyes, who exuded an air of calmness, but Long Haochen sensed a strong sense of threat from him. The young man seemed to sense Long Haochen's gaze, and he slowly turned his head, and in the instant their gazes met, Long Haochen saw emptiness, while the black-haired youth saw clarity. However, to their surprise, in this initial exchange of gazes, neither of them felt any hostility toward the other, as if they were never meant to be enemies. This black-haired, black-eyed youth was also exceptionally handsome, and upon seeing him, Long Haochen felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if he had seen him somewhere before. Suddenly, the young man's gaze turned cold, a sharp killing intent flickering briefly, but Long Haochen could sense that this killing intent was forcibly restrained, as it lacked actual murderous intent. What could this mean? Had they met before? However, Long Haochen had confidence in his memory, and he had never encountered such a young man in his recollection. Turning away, he no longer looked at the young man, and Long Haochen slowly closed his eyes, in the serene embrace of nature, where a refreshing clarity lingered. When the others arrived here, they felt the influence of nature diminish, but Long Haochen experienced the opposite. He found that although the presence of nature here was faint, it was incredibly pure. The reason it seemed weaker was that this pure natural aura even rejected humans, as if it was reluctant to draw near to them. However, this pure essence of nature quietly entered Long Haochen's body, cleansing and nourishing him. A strange sense of enlightenment emerged as well, and in the vague haze of it, Long Haochen felt he grasped something, gradually feeling his heart become clearer. Tedious waiting did not apply to Long Haochen. Within his enlightenment, his body seemed to merge with nature, like a plant here, or a piece of soil, or a clear stream. Even Chai Er, sitting beside him, felt as though Long Haochen had disappeared, as if he were no longer visible. Time passed by minute, and both sides were composed and patient. They continued to wait here in silence. The sky gradually darkened, and night fell. The night lacked some warmth, but had gained a touch of moisture, and so a day and night had passed. When the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon, Huang Shu slowly stood up, and his gaze turned towards Ling Xiao. A day and night had already gone by, yet Dream Temple had still not appeared. At that moment, suddenly, a strange sensation spread through everyone's hearts, and those who had closed their eyes during meditation instinctively opened them. looking in the direction of the unusual aura. The air around them slightly distorted, and the natural aura became denser, as if every breath was drawing in a thick life force. Even the demons, at this moment, began to feel comfortable here. Ripples appeared on the lake in front, gradually growing larger, and at the center of the lake, a spring gushed out, reaching several meters high before expanding rapidly. An incredibly rich life force seemed to converge from all directions towards this place. Dawn arrived, and it was precisely at this dawn that Dream Temple slowly rose from the lake. Gradually, the top of the emerald green palace emerged from the small lake, and clear lake water cascaded down from the palace's top. The palace entirely transparent and crystalline green, with a halo shimmering around it. In the gentle light of dawn, it radiated a brilliant aura, and as it continued to ascend, the life force in the surroundings reached its peak, and all the plants were growing at an astonishing rate, surpassing the height of both humans and demons, and the fragrance of the flowers became even more intense. Finally, the emerald green palace fully emerged from the water, and at that very moment, the sun had just risen in the far eastern sky, casting an orange-red glow over the natural temple, like the yolk of an egg. A light mist encircled the natural temple, blending with the light brought by the sun in the sky, and refracted through the emerald green crystal of the temple, creating a dreamlike and enchanting scene. Light and water. Symbols of life itself, it was a scene that left people in awe, and one that people hesitated to disturb. It was truly beautiful. To witness such beauty, it seemed everyone had momentarily forgotten the dangers hidden within. Dream Temple's overall appearance was unique. Unlike any other structure on the continent, as it lacked walls, and its top appeared to be layers of green crystal stacked together, with the uppermost layer smaller and each layer below it gradually enlarging, and the lowest layer extending outward in all directions like eaves. Just like eaves of a house. Supporting the massive top are thick pillars, each of them reaching a height of 10 zhang, each requiring at least 3 people to encircle. Through the pillars, it seems one can glimpse a soft green light inside. It's just that the hazy radiance emitted by Dream Temple itself makes it difficult to see what's inside clearly. In other words, this temple has neither walls nor doors. The entire temple is transparent. If you count them briefly, there are exactly 32 pillars in the front, and there are none visible on the sides. A dense life force spreads out, giving people a sense of tranquility. Long Haochen feels a slight warmth in his chest, and the light elemental elf, Yuting, floats out on her own. Gazing at the massive temple in front of her, she slowly kneels on a sturdy bush and bows from a distance. Her beautiful eyes are filled with tears of excitement. She continues to murmur in an incomprehensible elven language, and her body seems even more translucent in this place. Although elemental elves worship the elemental gods, light, water, and earth elements are closely connected to the goddess of nature. The goddess of nature can be considered half their mistress. Returning to the embrace of nature filled with life force, how could Yuting not be excited? She can clearly feel her life force rapidly increasing, and the golden light on her body ripples like water, gradually becoming less intense, but her originally somewhat ethereal and transparent body becomes more solid, appearing more like a human. When Long Haochen first obtained her, Yuting's own life force was rapidly declining, and it was thanks to Long Haochen's Son of Light physique that she was able to improve and undergo 2 evolutions. However, her core had suffered significant damage, and she had been nurtured in the holy guiding spirit furnace. But now, in front of the goddess of nature's Dream Temple, her body was being fully nourished. And the hidden injuries within her were almost instantly healed by the rich life force, laying a solid foundation for her next evolution. Soft green light spreads through the air, and a strange scene unfolds. Perhaps influenced by the immense life force of Dream Temple, the vegetation on the shore suddenly grows at an accelerated pace. Especially the bushes closest to the lake, they crawl toward the central Dream Temple with rapid growth. In an instant, the lake's surface is completely covered by a layer of bushes, and these bushes appear robust, indicating their strength. Strangely, these bushes continue growing until they reach the shore of Dream Temple, where they abruptly stop, as if they dare not step beyond that boundary. Ling Xiao glances at the leader of the Black Dragon Guard, Wang Shuo, and says in a deep voice, "We can enter now, and inside, it's every man for himself."